America, welcome back to Almost Above Average. I am your host, Chris McIntyre, and tonight we're talking about one of the most powerful people in the country, who somehow still acts like she's doing a cable news hit for ratings. Pamela Bondi, former Florida Attorney General, Trump impeachment defender, and now the woman sitting on top of the Department of Justice like it's her own personal PR firm. Think Ellie Woods. If Ellie went to Tallahassee, met Donald Trump, and decided the law was mainly a tool for protecting one guy's ego. That's Pam. So let's start at the beginning. Who is Pam Bondi? Pam Bondi is Tampa through and through. University of Florida, law degree, longtime prosecutor in Hillsborough County. She did the local news thing, popped up on TV, built a name as the tough blonde prosecutor who would stare straight into the camera and tell you she was protecting your kids. Then she rides the Tea Party wave right into becoming Florida's Attorney General. Suddenly, she's not talking about crime. She's deciding who gets sued, who gets prosecuted, and which culture war hill the state is willing to die on. She goes after pill mills, talks tough on human trafficking, loves big, splashy press conferences. And then, somewhere along the way, an orange billionaire from New York says, "Wow, she looked great defending me."
Yeah, well, we're hearing the president publicly back Attorney General Pam Bondi for the first time since this firestorm really started. The president posting on social media overnight that Bondi is doing a fantastic job, adding that he doesn't like what's happening, referring to the...
Hey, real quick, if you're getting value out of this and you haven't already, hit that like button so more people can find it. Drop a comment too. I actually read all of them, so it helps shape what I cover next. And of course, subscribe if you want to keep catching these breakdowns as soon as they drop. All right. Back to it.
Among his supporters, adding that we have a perfect administration, the talk of the world, and selfish people are trying to hurt it, all over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein.
How did Pam get glued to Trump? Now, every great political love story has a how we met moment. For Pam and Trump, it's not just roses and champagne. It's $25,000 from the Trump Foundation quietly sliding into a PAC supporting Pam's reelection, right when her office just happens to be looking at complaints about Trump University.
And here we go.
Weird. And what does Florida do? Do they join the New York fraud case against Trump? No. Florida backs off, surprisingly. The check clears. Everyone swears it's all a big coincidence, totally unrelated. How dare you suggest otherwise? Later, the IRS finds Trump's charity for that donation.
Trump is under fire over reports that he used money from his charitable foundation to pay business expenses. Donors are told that contributions go to medical charities, but Juliana Goldman found that some of it has gone to care for Trump's legal ills.
The foundation eventually gets shut down, but Pam? Florida ethics folks shrug and move on. And Trump? He never forgets who did him a solid. So let's fast forward. She's now on the RNC stage in 2016. She's defending him during impeachment. She's doing press conferences about election fraud in 2020.
The 2020 presidential election.
Joe Biden is the president of the United States.
Ms. Bondi, you know that there is a difference between acknowledging it and, I can say that Donald Trump won the 2024 election. I may not like it, but I can say it. You cannot say who won the 2020 presidential election. Okay. It's disturbing. Are the felons convicted of breaking into the Capitol on January 6th hostages or patriots, quoting Trump, as President-elect Trump has said repeatedly? Do you agree with his characterization of the felons that I referred to?
I am not familiar with that statement, Senator.
I just familiarized you with that statement. Do you agree with that statement?
I'm not familiar with it, Senator.
Okay, no answer.
If Trump needs a microphone and a blonde lawyer to say the word witch hunt with conviction, the call goes to Pam. And now in the sequel nobody asked for, Pam Bondi is sitting in the chair of the Attorney General of the United States, the top law enforcement official in the country, the person who's supposed to be independent from the president. On paper, you can spin this as seasoned prosecutor, experienced state attorney general, brings years of courtroom experiences to Washington. But in reality, it feels a lot more like Trump saying, I want the one whose proof shall never turn on me. Every attorney general has to answer one question. Who do you actually work for? The Constitution or the president? With Pam, the answer feels way too obvious. So what is Pam doing with all that power? Let's talk about the job performance review. As Florida AG, she fought to keep same-sex couples from getting married and joined lawsuits to kill the Affordable Care Act. The message was basically, if your life depends on health insurance or civil rights, good luck. Thoughts and prayers. Now she's in D.C. with a badge that says Department of Justice, and she's still playing the same game. Investigations into Trump and his allies, suddenly those are witch hunts or politically motivated. Critics, journalists, protesters, now we're flirting with phrases like domestic extremists and threats to order. Voting rights and elections, she already helped sell the Stone election lie back in 2020. Now she's got subpoena power and federal prosecutors to back the narrative. It's like handing a loaded weapon to the same person who already proved they'll aim whenever Trump points. Let's talk about Pam Bondi's pattern. Because here's the scary part. Under all the sarcasm, there's a pattern. Step 1, there's an issue that touches Trump. Trump University, impeachment, 2020 election lies, investigations into his buddies. In step 2, Pam Bondi shows up and treats the law like a political costume. Step 3, the story magically shifts from did he break the law to how dare you question this great man. She didn't just defend Trump and impeachment. She used the Senate floor time to go after Joe and Hunter Biden, like she was under a Fox News contract instead of answering actual abuse of power charges. She didn't just talk about an election integrity in 2020. She held conferences that poured gasoline on the stolen election myth. That myth powered January 6th.
Here, we're going to give riot warnings. We're going to try to get compliance, but this is now effectively a riot.
49 hours declaring it a riot.
5 to 50 be advised, Capitol Police 1 advised they're trying to breach and get to the Capitol.
It's still powering voter suppression laws and political violence right now. And now that she controls the DOJ, the same instinct is pointed at the entire country. So why does this matter? Because the Attorney General is not supposed to be the president's bodyguard. She is supposed to be the country's lawyer. When the person in the job has a history of pay-to-play scandals, election denial, and using legal power to shield one guy and punish his enemies, that's not just bad optics. That's how democracies slide into something darker. Imagine being a local prosecutor trying to do your job on a political corruption case, and the message from DC is, if your target is connected to Trump, back off. But if it's one of Trump's critics, have you considered charging them with something?
Now to the Trump administration, President Trump urged Attorney General Pam Bondi to prosecute his political enemies in a post on social media this weekend. As CBS's Christian Benavides reports, this comes as a U.S. attorney in Virginia is out of a job over pressure to bring charges against New York Attorney General Letitia James.
That's not justice. That's a protection racket with better stationery. Now, on the surface, all of this looks entertaining. She's telegenic, she talks fast, she's great at sounding outraged on command. If this were just a TV show, Pam Bondi would be an incredible character, an ambitious state prosecutor who crashes in her ethics for a ticket to the big league. The loyal fixer who always shows up right when the boss is in trouble. But this isn't prestige TV. This is the actual Justice Department of the United States of America. These are real people's rights, real elections, real investigations that die because they're politically inconvenient. So yeah, we can laugh at the absurdity of it. We can joke that the DOJ has basically become Trump's legal defense and company. And underneath the jokes, though, this is a 5-alarm fire. Pam Bondi didn't just accidentally stumble into this job. She auditioned for it over the years by proving that when Trump is in danger, she will always pick him over the law, over the truth, and over you. And when the Attorney General of the United States thinks the job is to settle one man's political scores, everyone else in the country becomes collateral damage. And if that worries you even a little bit, don't just shrug and flip the channel. Talk about it. Share this. Ask why the top cop in America is acting like she's still billing Trump by the hour. This is Almost Above Average, and I'm Chris McIntyre. Please drop a like, leave a comment, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.